Hi there. I wanted to read you another bedtime story from this book that meant so much to me when I was a little kid, Speck the Brownie, Here and There. A brownie, if you're not familiar with that term, I mean, obviously most of us know what a brownie is in the culinary world, and it's one of my favorites. But this kind of brownie is, it's like a sprite, it's not really like a fairy, it's a little person. It'll all become clear. This book is so special to me because my aunt and uncle gave it to me when I was 6, and I loved them so much, and they're no longer on this plane, but they were very dear to me, and they gave me this this really, I don't think they would have known at the time how special this is. But Elmay was an author and illustrator who lived on Vancouver Island, and she had a little publishing company with her husband. This is the manuscript color copy, printed in 1971. It was copyright 1968. Printed in 71, only 2,000 copies were made, it says here. Direct process lithography, or is that lithography? I think it's lithography. Home Workshop Edition, Crow Publishing, Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. There's their little crow logo. Anyway, that's just a little bit about Elmay and why this book is so special to me. In fact, I lost track of this book for a long time. And then it's a long story, but I came across it again a few years ago. And it's really brought me back, and it seems to explain to me a lot about the sorts of things that I loved and that resonated with me as a child in terms of nature and imagination, the concept of little people, us not being the only, the only creatures around. Anyway, this story, it's a collection of stories, but this particular story is called Preparing for Winter. I like this story. There's no conflict in it. It's just a nice tale. I know in the Northern Hemisphere, of course, here we're just starting spring. Although it doesn't feel like it here where I am, that's okay, that's normal. And of course, in the Southern Hemisphere, people will be preparing for winter. The gardeners gathered a young brownie flock to hear what old Grandpa would tell. Respected and wise, he now wanted to talk of how they'd encouraged and watered each stalk. And of course, the second I start recording a video, someone comes in. I will stop this now. I'll try this again. Preparing for winter. This little guy has looks like half a walnut shell made into a basket. The gardeners gathered a young brownie flock to hear what old Grandpa would tell. Respected and wise, he now wanted to talk of how they'd encouraged and watered each stalk. Their garden had done very well. White petals have drifted like snow from the flowers, and pea pods have taken their places. The season is ripe to climb into the bowers, harvesting peas which for hundreds of hours have swollen within the green cases. Sorry. There we go. Speck gently harnessed the mouse to the cart, an honor he really deserved. His small willing hands gave a job a good start. To make hard work easy, he always took part, rewarded by knowing he served. Speck thought it better to work in a band, cheerfully doing his share, for work can be play with each lending a hand. Brownie helps Brownie all over the land, everyone friendly and fair. He's got the mouse. Up to the cart. and they're hauling in the harvest of peas. How lovely and shiny and huge were the peas. The wee brownies worked with a knack. They passed them to Speck, standing up to his knees in peas in the cart, which as fast as you please got filled from the front to the back. Look at him go. Also, the wheels of the cart are made from buttons. How cute is that? The mouse pulled the load to the storehouse of pine beneath twining rootlets nearby. With needles of briar-thorn, cobweb for twine, wee workers were stringing the peas in a line to hang round the chamber to dry. This is one of my favorite illustrations from the whole thing. They're stringing the peas up like cranberries and popcorn to go on a Christmas tree almost. Almond-shaped seeds from the pine cone were stored, displayed just like shoes in a rack. Look at this, full of pine nuts. That's fantastic. Wild onions hung braided, a choice brownie hoard, sweet. Hi again. So my phone ran out of space yesterday while I was, no, I'm losing my voice. Yesterday while I was reading the story. So I had to go and figure out how to safely delete a bunch of stuff from the, anyway, it's not important. Anyway, I have space on my phone again, so hopefully I can finish recording this story. We were just looking at this awesome drawing of the pine nuts being stored like shoes in a rack, and I wanted to also show you the whole book is full of little, is that in focus? Little things like this where she turns the O of onion into an onion, etc. You can probably hear my son practicing the violin downstairs. Let's continue with this story here. Almond-shaped seeds from the pine cones were stored, displayed just like shoes in a rack. Wild onions hung braided, a choice brownie hoard, sweet sun-ripened berries in rows on a board, and grass seed for flour in a sack. Brownie containers concealed every wall, their contents exposed at the seams. Sweet-scented leaves gathered late in the fall were blended together in birch baskets tall, as high as the runty root beans. The reason I laughed there was just the line, brownie containers concealed every wall. That sounds wonderful, to have a whole wall just stacked with containers of brownies. And now I'm not talking about the little people, I'm talking about, the chocolate squares. Now that we're in isolation, that's all I can think about is stuff like brownies. Anyway. When all the good harvest was safely away, the door to the storehouse secure. Isn't that adorable? The brownies forgot all the cares of the day, rosined their fiddles and started to play, refreshed by the music's allure. Brassy belled hats jingled madly in jigs that were set to gay hand-me-down tunes. Sprightly old fellows, with faces like figs, danced as the leaves drifted down from the twigs, and the golden grass crisped on the dunes. There's the little guy playing the fiddle, they're dancing, and my kid's playing the fiddle downstairs, so I'm gonna go and join him, and thanks for listening to my story and watching this ridiculous video, which is now going to be at least 3 videos. Bye for now.